student. I am Bhumika Verma, Assistant Professor in CSE Department and in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. And today my topic of study is life cycle of machine cycle. In my previous lectures, we have already studied about what is machine learning and what are the types of machine learning. Now moving on further with this, it comes up initially what is machine learning, because everything starts with its definition, so I must bring it out. So according to the Erthel Samuel, it is described as the study of field of study that gives computers the ability to run from the data without being explicitly programmed. So it comes up with this kind of theme that machine learning is an subset of artificial intelligence and it has a closure of deep learning. I'll discuss in the further slide. So coming up with this, there are different type of machine learning that we have already discussed in my last lectures, that there are four kind of machine learning techniques, that is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised, as well as reinforcement learning. When it comes with the supervised learning, that means some machine or some person as an impersonal is being supervising the machine to do the task. So the basic example for this will be the housing price predictions and the medical imaging. When it comes with the unsupervised learning, that means the machine is learning without any manual supervision. The example for this will be the customer segmentation as well as the market basket analysis. Then the third one will be the hybrid of all these beginning machine learning technique, that is supervised or unsupervised learning, that comes up with the name of semi-supervised learning. For example, we are doing the text classification, and we are also use the GPS for finding the lane. Now, the last one is the reinforcement learning. That is, we are using the driverless car or the optimized marketing. In my last lecture, I have already discussed the supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised learning. The last one is the reinforcement learning. So, I'm not taking much time of yours to come up with the steps of machine learning. I just give a brief introduction about these three in very quick seconds. So, when you are running a company, you will find to develop some learning algorithm to address some of the problems. So these problems must be about the classification or kind of regression problems. So if there is a problem that if we are having a large inventory of identical items and you have to predict how many of these items will sell over in the next 3 years, 3 months, then there's a case when there will be a graph of slanting type. In this case, we need to know that what kind of a learning algorithm we need to develop in this. In problem 2, if the software has to examine the individual customer account, for each account they have to decide that it has been hacked or not. So that means there's a categorical kind of information. That means if the information account has been hacked or it not has been hacked, that means there will be a kind of decision out of a situation that it will yes, it will say no. So there are two kind of scenarios. In this case, we will have to treat these in the two categories that we have studied earlier, as in the case of classification or it is a regression problem. So first of all, we will treat both as a classification problem. So problem 1 is the problem 1 will be categorized as a classification problem, and problem 2 will be as a regression problem. Then again, there are 4 options that how you are going to treat these problems. So according to the situation, we can analyze that in this case, this is a case when we have to tell that whether the account has been hacked or not. So that means this problem 2, is being of a classification type. Well, if I talk about problem 1, it will be of regression type, because it will plot a graph from one point of x to the another point of x. So that means there will be a slanting kind of category. So I believe and I hope you can also able to understand that option 3 will be the correct answer for this. Okay. Now, these are some of the examples for the same scenario. That is, if I have to say that email is spam or not. Again, this is a kind of classification problem. So this is a classification problem. If there is a set of news and found on the web, then we have to group these into some kind of sets or clusters. So this is a kind of example that is used for clustering. If there is a database of customer that is automatically discovering the market segments and the group of customers from the different market segments, so that means the problem initially reflects the same thing, that from the market group you are segmenting the customer, you are clustering the customer. So this is basic example for clustering. The fourth one is the data set of patient that is being diagnosed. Either they have diabetes or they don't have any diabetes. So obviously this is a kind of example for classification. So when I say that what is machine learning, so machine learning is basically the combination of these three learning. Now you will say that where is the semi-supervised learning? So semi-supervised learning is not well-defined learning, but it comes up with the techniques when we combine the techniques of machine supervised learning as well as the unsupervised learning. So in the initial step, the machine learning is being classified into three categories: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. As we have discussed this before, and we have also plotted the example right in the beginning of this presentation. So now I'm focusing on the reinforcement learning. So what is reinforcement? As the meaning says, reinforcement, that are you are forcing something to something. That means you need to do something over a machine, or you're on a machine with the help of some kind of force applied to it. Now this force, or all these terms will be systematically driven. So this is an occurrence of event in a proper relation to the response that tends to increase the probability, increase or decrease the probability of the response will occur again in the same situation. So reinforcement learning is a problem faced by when there is an agent that learns the behavior through trial and error. That means an agent has been working in an environment and it will learn from the environment, and its behavior will be modified and again reinforced through trial and error interactions with the dynamic environment. So reinforcement learning is a learning how agent will work so that to maximize the uh, maximize the effort, maximize the profit, maximize the numerical reward, or maximize the performance within a dynamic environment. So the example for this will be the robot cleaning a room or recharging his battery. That means again the robot occur, how to invest in the shares, modeling the economy, and learning how to fly in a helicopter, scheduling the planes. These are some of the examples. Now how this reinforcement learning will work, it will be reflected with the help of this diagram only. So there will be an agent. An agent is working with an environment, working within an environment, with working on an environment. So that means agent is working in a dynamic environment. In this case, the agent have to perform some kind of action. So that is why the arrow has been driven down to the environment, that some action is being performed by the agent, and this is how the action is being impacted over the environment. Then again, in the case of action, the environment again reflect this thing to the agent. That means in this case, this environment has some kind of effect over the agent also. That means this is reflected with the help of state. Now this agent have to decide some kind of policy to perform that action. In this case, when the state is being done, the state is being reflected towards the agent. In this case, there will be some kind of appreciation or depreciation, there will be some kind of praising or unpraising, or you can say there will be a positive reinforcement or there will be a negative reinforcement. That means whatsoever work the agent will do over the environment, it will make an impact to the environment, definitely. Then if the impact is done over the environment, then this impact will be of positive or the negative by nature. So this word reward comes with these two terms, that if that thing makes a positive impact over the environment, then this will be a positive factor for this environment, and the agent will be appreciated for the same, and the reward is being given to the agent. If the negative impact has been done, in that case no reward will be given to the agent, and the agent will have to improvise the technique or the policy so that the action will have some kind of positive impact over it. So this reward will be of positive or will be of negative by nature. So agent here will be the intelligent program or some kind of machine or some kind of software. The environment is the external condition or the dynamic situation where the program have to run on. The policy will be defined by the agent behavior at the particular time. It will be the mapping of the state towards with the action. It will be done with the help of some kind lookup tables in which there will be action, and according to those actions some states will be given. So according to that, the lookups will be done and some simple functions will be applied over the lookup table, so that if this action is being picked, then this state will be done. If this action will be picked, then this action will be performed. So this will be, there will be a lookup table, and every time this mapping has been done. So this is how the reinforcement learning is working. That means agent has been working, he has been forced to work in an environment. Accordingly, when the state has happened, yeah, but when the event has occurred, according to that performance, the reward has been decided. So in this case, the agent reinforced to learn from the environment. So this is why this name is given, that is reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning observed from the input state. It is the action that is determined by the decision making policy. This is the kind of action that is performed. The agent receives some kind of scalar award. That means it can be profit, that could be credit point, that could be coins. If I say about game in we are playing on a computer, that means if we are interacting with the system and we are playing a game, then that means if we are winning into the game, then there will be some kind of reward. That means some kind of coins are there, or you can say your power is been incremented. So this is a kind of reward when a agent, when a machine is being working with us, then this is known as reinforcement. So information about the reward for the from the state or action pair is being recorded every time. So we can assess in the last that the reinforcement learning is fruitful or not fruitful. So these are the categories of reinforcement learning that I have already told, that there will be positive reinforcement as well as the negative reinforcement. So these are basically the use cases, or the scenario applications where the reinforcement learning is being working. That is the video game that I've told you right now. In robotics, that means a robot is being trained to do something and something, and accordingly they will learn from the situation and they will update their lookup tables. Text mining is one of the example of reinforcement learning. So moving on further, that what are machine learning, what are the machine learning step, or basically you can say the life cycle of machine learning. The machine learning life cycle consists of basic 5 steps, that is getting of the data, cleaning, preparing and manipulating of the data, training the model, test the data, improve the model, right? So these steps are further filtered out in this form, because every single step is being the combination of various further categories. So I have filtered out this scenario into this picture, which says that step 1 is the collection of the data from the various sources. Step 2 will be the data cleaning as well as the feature engineering, which is not including in this picture. That is why I have used this kind of scenario for further breakup of the step 2. Then third will be the modeling or building of some kind of model and correcting with it with the machine learning algorithm. Fourth will be the evolution of the model, and third will be the deployment of the model. So when I come up with the uh, data collection, so prior to that, there will be some kind of problem definition. That means we are clearly defining the problem what you are trying to solve into the machine learning. That means you are specifically focusing on the regression problem, or some kind of classification problem, or some kind of clustering problem. So that means there will be a proper definition that what we are going to do into the machine. Then identify and gather the relevant data from various sources. Those sources could be natural sources, unnatural sources, artificial sources. There could be various several sources of those collecting of data. Then second step will be the data processing. That is, second step is the data cleaning and the feature engineering. So if I come up with the second step, that is data processing and cleaning, that means I am handling some kind of data when the data is having some kind of problems into it. Now what kind of problems I'm talking about? That means if I'm collecting the data from various sources, it might be possible that the data will not be clearly defined or well structured. There might be some kind of missing values into that, or there will be some kind of outliers into it, or there will be might some kind of inconsistencies into that data. For that purpose, we need to process that data to go into further step. That means we have to do something into that data, because I need to arrange their data. for that purpose, I need to transform and format that data to make it suitable for the model training. That means I need to do some kind of scaling or some kind of encoding or some kind of finding the solution for the missing values. When I say for the data processing, that means the data is wrong because it is having some kind of missing values. That means if I am talking about a table, suppose there is a simple example that I am having a table. If that table is there and it is having some kind of rows and columns, and if there are some values which is missing into the row, or you can say there are some data that is missing from a column, that means you cannot say that this is a complete table. Some data is missing, so that means I have to work on the missing values. Second is the outliers. Outliers means if I am having some set of data for particular category, then every data seems to be very familiar or some kind of having relationship with each other, but some of the data is you know very extensive from that particular range, so that kind of data will be a outlier for that. If I say that this is a graph, every data is found to be here and some of the data are found to be here. So in that case, you can say that these are the similar kind of data that I've received into the table, but these are the data that are very extensive and very wide apart from this particular range. So this kind of data is known as an outlier for us. Outlier is the data, that means the data that lie apart from that particular range. Then badly encoded data, that means the text, when I am saying about the table, the data is being not having some kind of particular format, that is not in form of alphabetical order, either they are being encoded with some other alphabets or some special characters, so that means you cannot assess that what is that particular data. Then again there will be some kind of wrongly labeled example, that means some categories are defined but some of the data into those categories are not completely clustered properly. So you need to figure out that these are the wrongly labeled data and you need to recluster them. Then some will be the biased data, that means there will be many more samples in the class from the rest, so there will be the biasing of the data. So this data processing comes up with the data cleaning, when we have to remove the duplicates as well as we have to handle out all these things. Then the data transformation has been done in the form of scaling as well as in the form of encoding. Then data integration will be done, that means we need to join or we need to merge the data so that we'll get the complete information. Then the data is being reduced, that means we are doing the scaling of the data with the help of sampling, or we are reducing the dimensionality of the data. In this case, the data processing has been done. The second will be the feature engineering. When I say, so feature engineering is the term when I say about that what we are doing in the feature engineering. The feature engineering step consists of the very important step, very important aspect of machine learning, that is the EDA, that is exploratory data analysis. Feature engineering comes up with a term that is very important in data machine learning life cycle, is the exploratory data analysis, in which the data is being understood with its distribution, its relationship between the features and the potential pattern that it is going to draw into the future. So it will create new features from the existing one to improve the model performance. So feature engineering is the one that the machine learning or the analytics who is who knows every pattern, how to drive every pattern, so he will explore the hidden patterns out of the data. So feature engineering is basically you are creating some kind of new features from the existing one. That means you will figure out that out of these pattern we can figure out this kind of new information into this, and it will be very important and crucial in the future. So this is what we will done in the EDA. EDA itself involve various kind of important and the crucial features, but we are not focusing on particularly EDA because EDA is consist of very important step. But as I am talking about here is the AKTU syllabus, as per the AKTU syllabus. So this is not very important according to AKTU syllabus, but although if you are a keen learner of machine learning, so this will be a very important step there. The third step will be the model selection as well as the training, in which you will train the selected model. using some kind of training data. You will split the data set into some cases that there will be some training cases, there will be some validation cases, then there will be test sets. So you will choose the appropriate machine learning algorithm based on the particular type of the problem and the data characteristics, and again you will train the selected model. The step 4 will be the model evaluation and the training. In this you will evaluate the model that is being trained recently according to its performance using the validation step. Validation set will says that the model has to validate, the model has to perform these particular thing into the machine learning model. So this is kind of validation, and appropriate matrices will be done. That means it will check the appropriate parameters um, on the aspects of accuracy, on the aspects of precision, recall, F1 scores, and RMSE scores. So we will fine tune the model according to the hyperparameters to optimize the performance. The step 5 will be the deployment of the model and monitoring it. The deployment of the trained model will optimize the model into the production environment. That means we are deploying the trained model. Now it has cleared all the validation tests, it had cleared all the things that we have already done in the step 4. Now the model is ready to be deployed, so it will be deployed into the production environment. And the the maker of that model will continuously monitor the model performance and refrain that it will be needed with the new data to maintain the accuracy. So these are the basic steps that are involved into this. So I've already discussed that what are the steps, that various sources of data collection, then these raw data is being processed in the form of clean and transformed data. Features will be collected, or feature engineering is being done, then the modeling is being done, insight has been drawn, then the model is being deployed, and further it will be monitored. So these are the steps that are already discussed in the previous picture. So last step, these are basically the life cycle of the machine learning. So there this is this is very small or very uh, brisk topic of unit 1, that is well defined learning problem, which comes up with the marks of 2 to 3 in the AQ2 exam. So what is well defined problem? So basically the computer program is said to learn some kind of experience with performing some kind of task, and it will perform some kind of action, or the performance is being done. So here these 3 parameters will be termed or marked with some kind of alphabet. That is, experience E will be the machine या program must have some experience E, then it will perform some task T, and after this it will perform something, and this performance measure will be done with the help of P. So there will be 3 important parameters in this. So a well defined learning problem deals with the 3 important parameter. That means how the machine is learning the things. So for that particular purpose, these 3 parameters play a very important role. That means E, P and T: task, performance measure, and as well as the experience. So every time, what do you mean by learning problem? That means any problem can be segregated, as well as it will be well posed a learning problem if it is having these 3 traits into it. Okay, so taking an example for this, it will be like, first is to filter out the emails from into the inbox, that is, it is spam or not. In that case, the task will be the classifying of the email, that it is spam or not. The performance will be the fractions of email accurately classified into the spam or not. The experience will be the observing, or the observing nature, that you will email the label the emails as a spam or not. The second example will be the machine that is playing checkers or checks, right? So in that case, the task is playing checkers game. The performance measure will be the percent of the game won by the opposite opponent, and the experience will be the playing implementation techniques or the games against itself. The third one will be the handwriting recognition problem. In that case, we need to acknowledge the handwritten words with some kind of quantifiers. Then performance measure is the percentage of word that is accurately classified. The experience is the directory of handwritten words with the given classification. The fourth is again the robot's driving problem. In that case, the task of the robot is to drive onto a public 4-lane highway with a side scanners. So performance is the average distance progressed before the fallacy, and the experience he derived from this will be the order of the images and the steering information or instructions noted down for the particular thing. These are again some kind of more example, that is food predictions, and then face recognition problem that we generally do into any kind of organization. The task is to predicting different type of faces. The performance measures the ability of the computer to find and able to predict the maximum types of the faces. Then the experience is the training machine with the maximum amount of data set with different face images. Then last will be the automatic translation of the document. You can also read it yourself. So these are basically the well defined problem. As I've already told you that this is not a very brief, very wide topic or wide topic that comes under the AKTU exam, but it comes up with 2-3 marks. So you can go little highlights on of these topics. I hope I am clear about the reinforcement learning as well as the life cycle of the machine learning, and the lastly this small topic of well defined learning problem. So thank you so much for listening this.